Nibiru. What are we worried about? Well, we're worried about quite a bit actually regarding Nibiru. If any of this is true, and I would certainly still encourage somebody to give us some substance, I would I would very much like to know what the heck's going on. I'd like to know why lots of things are supposedly happening right now. The underground bunkers, the cities, everybody seems to be scrambling. They all seem to have a similar date in mind. But assuming that this stuff for the moment is true, as many of us believe, there are going to be some things maybe some of us have not considered. We're making up a list right now of things that we're going to need to do. Let's say you've got the wherewithal to go underground, and now you're underground, and you've got a good facility, and you're deep, and you're safe. Okay, shelter is the one thing. Now, you've got many other things to consider. You've got to consider that you're going to have to figure out the age of the people that are going to be with you. Are you going to have babies? Going to have grandparents? If you're planning to be underground for some time, you have to plan for the inevitable. And these are not things easy to think about. But we've got a plan for a facility which will work. And it's gross. But it's got a 60-foot hole in it, about 4 foot wide, and 60 to 80 feet, as deep as we can make it actually, with just bags and bags and bags of lye. That's where we're going to have to be putting. We have to figure out sewage, bathroom facilities, death. What are you going to do with the body? Eat it? Burn it? Bury it? You're going to have to put it somewhere. And the decomposition can't overwhelm you. There's going to have to be weapons, medical, water, radiation testers, Geiger counters, hazmat suits. You don't know what's going to happen when you go back up again. You're going to have electric, generators, light. You're going to have to consider the ill effects of no sunlight, therefore melatonin, or have light that simulates the sunlight. There's going to be cabin fever. You're going to have people. What kind of people? You're going to have survival people, people who are going to be psychologically stable. They're going to be people that can rebuild, that can farm, grow food, build generators, make electricity, test water, test air, care for the health of the community, cook, clothing. You're going to need clothing, not just the clothes on your back or what you bought at Target, but you're going to have raw supplies for clothing, a sewing machine, which doesn't require electricity, a seamstress. You're going to have toilet facilities, chemicals, personal hygiene items, transportation. Well, when you climb out of your hole, you're going to have some kind of transportation. What are you going to have? You're going to have cars, bicycles, motorcycles, possibly a small plane, or at least a small glider. You're going to have fuel for these things because you're going to have limited range and you're not going to be able to travel very, very far. So you're going to have tools, shovels, picks, repair kits, hammers, crowbars, wrenches, meters, soldering gun, solder, wire. You're going to have consider all these kinds of things. Environmentally, if you're underground, your temperature should be okay, but you're still going to have air purification, possibly additional heating or cooling in certain areas for food. You're going to have to grow your own planetarium. You're going to have to grow your own food, as much of it as possible. Generate your own electricity, process your own waste. You're going to have to create your own water. How much water can you take down with you? And even if you do, how long is it going to stay good? You need the technology to make sure if you're going to be storing water for a long time that it's going to be good and it's not going to go bad. So are you going to recycle it? Are you going to reprocess? How is this going to work? You have an enormous amount of things. Even if given the underground facility, you have an enormous amount of technology to pull together in a rather short period of time. Now there's 3 ways this is going to happen. 3 things that are going to make you valuable to somebody to bring into their fold. You have to have knowledge, product, or money. You have to have the knowledge in these skilled trades to be useful to people. You're going to have product, maybe generators, food supplies, the ability to be able to produce the product and provide the product and recreate the product, or money. If you're just an idiot but you've got millions and millions of dollars, they may tolerate you. They may not. But there is going to have to be a large outlay of cash over a very short period of time and a declining economy to make this work. Am I worried? Am I concerned? Yeah. How far have you really thought about it? If it's true, what are you doing right now? Living your life, watching your TV, having birthday parties? You might want to consider something a little bit more immediate. I think we should have a forum on this. Somebody respond to this and let's have a forum. We'll have a place to go. We could start out at the twistedpickle.net. We could put a forum up there. I know the people at the Twisted Pickle, they'd be happy to do it. We could set something up. But you see how serious this is? What if you're not going to have children? You can't take people just because you like them. You're going to have to take them because they're going to be valuable in the process and won't drive you batty when you're there. You're going to have to carefully select people for 2 reasons: value and compatibility. If you've got some genius who can do anything with anything, but he's absolutely going to go stir crazy down there, and he's homicidal and a manic depressive and many other different things, you may choose to take somebody with less skill but more compatibility. What if someone dies? They have to be thrown down in that hole. Lye has to be put on top of them. You're going to have to dispose of the body. I mean, you are going to have to dispose of the body, and it's not going to be very ceremonious. Lots of things have to be considered here. Think about it. Let's have a forum at the Twisted Pickle.